Hi, this is Danny Ubar from MyMark. Mike Jasper tells us to discover 6 interesting ways to drive traffic away. Do you need to drive away some of the traffic that's going on your website? If so, you might want to look into some of the tips and tricks that Mike Jasper, one of the MyMark web developers, came up with. In this post, he talks about the best practices for making sure your visitors don't come back for round 2. If a feature exists, use it. Spelling and grammars takes too much time. Meet your needs, not theirs. These are just a few of the topics that are covered in this blog. There is no shortage of humor, so feel free to sit back and relax while listening. Here's the full story. As one of the web designers here at MyMark, I spend quite a bit of time with my head in code. In fact, system.output.print makes a lot more sense to me than quoth the raven. However, in my travels around the web, I have noticed many things that you can do to drive away pesky visitors. 6 of the most popular are 6. If a feature exists, use it. As a web designer, I remember a time when people just weren't afraid to use every tool for every job. There seems to have fallen a shroud of arrogance where we are too good for all the features that the web makes available to us. This individual has put together a really nice example of what a website should look like. www.angelfire.com/super/badwebs/. When this website opens, our senses are immediately greeted, not only with 3 separate background colors, but a page title that scrolls back and forth. When we are then amused by an animated background that looks like little bubbles on the page. These are only to be topped, however, by a wonderful blast from the speakers of the William Tell Overture, played in full MIDI glory. There are so many options that the web has given to us over the last 15 years. Blinking text, scrolling headlines, auto-playing sound and video, pop-up advertising. Why not use them all? 5. Spelling and grammars takes too much time. We won't spend much time with this because it is relatively simple. Churning out the content takes a lot of time, and any time we can cut from the process is well worth the cost. After all, our goal isn't to make it perfectly readable, just readable enough to get them to click on the ads. 4. The more color, the better. Time and history have consistently proven that more color equals better. Like most aspects of our physical world, this principle translates quite well to the online world. When designing your site, always try to include as much color as possible. These colors may be complementary, tertiary, binary, obfuscatory, etc. Whatever you want. The important thing is to keep in mind is to just get as much color into there as possible. One website makes excellent use of this principle. It is http://www.dokimos.org/AJFF/. This website really goes above and beyond. Not only do they manage to get all the colors on one page, speed, which ties into the next tip. 3. Rely on flash, images, and animation. When that writer's block hits, and it eventually will, nothing can mask it better than using more graphics to spice up your content. These will distract your readers from the lack of meaningful content and distract them until their eyes skim to the next part of the page. The thoughts sound a bit like this. Nice banner. Menu. Oh, nice picture. Words, 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 words. And here's the link I was looking for. Keep in mind that these images don't necessarily need to be related to your post, just mildly interesting. For example, a young child blowing on a dandelion, an attractive businesswoman, a portrait of a smiling family with the sun behind them, an older dog, usually in sepia tone. This technique also works well for non-static imagery, like a GIF animation or a small flash object. Let's do a case study. Company XYZ knows that they need a website. In fact, they have been hearing about them for years. After getting together the momentum and resources, they purchase a domain name and a hosting space with a pre-installed web template. After typing their mission statement, XYZ's mission is to scout profitable growth opportunities in relationships, both internally and externally, in emerging mission-inclusive markets and explore new paradigms, and then filter and communicate and evangelize the findings. XYZ company realized that their site needed a little more pop to it. How could we help XYZ's company? Instead of plain text XYZ company and their logo, this could fly in from the left of the page and screech to a halt just before the right margin. To spruce up their mission statement, we could insert a photo of a multi-ethnic business team standing in a large glass rotunda. We could also have chosen a rotating globe with their employees' silhouettes in the foreground. If these techniques do not immediately work, there is always the funny picture of a cat with a badly misspelled caption trick. This is nearly guaranteed to work. 2. Buzzwords are the key to good content. It is generally well known that the purpose of text on a website is to provide search engines something to find you by. Therefore, thorough and repetitive placement of industry-relevant buzzwords greatly enhances the SEO, or search engine optimization, of your particular web page and will launch tagging onto the blogosphere of our Web 2.0 world. Note, however, that these keywords RSS do not have to be particularly relevant to your industry. Any hip industry will do. And finally, the best way to ensure your visitors will never come back is 1. Meet your needs, not theirs. It is your website after all. When writing content, it is important to ask yourself the following questions. How will this make me look? What can this post do for me? And what would the popular thing be to write? Be very careful to not consider, can I solve a problem that readers have? Or is there a pressing issue or concern I can help with? These later questions can steer you away from your true goal to meet your own needs. This is Danny from MyMark on Discover 6 Interesting Ways to Drive Traffic Away.